morning, friends. Buenos dias, aloha. That's all I got. But welcome back to another video in my USMLE Step 1 board exam series. So if you didn't catch my previous videos about USMLE Step 1, what exactly it is, dedicated study period, and all of the above, go get yourself up to speed and catch those videos. So today, however, I am officially 1 day away from USMLE Step 1, you guys. It is the day before my official exam, and it's a crazy day. I do not know where the time went. It's mind-blowing, you guys, but we're here, so we're doing it. I'll talk a lot more about everything, almost moving my test, anxiety, all of the above. But today I'm going to start my morning out with a workout. So I'm going to head into the gym, get my day started bright and early with a nice workout so that I can sleep well tonight. So let's get in the gym and get it done. Any medical student will tell you guys that you have to maximize your time, and that includes watching sketchy at the gym. If you don't know what sketchy is, you will soon know. We do what we can. We got to get it in where we get it in. Alright guys, so like I mentioned in my last video, you want to make sure on test day that you're eating light, healthy brain foods. So I came to the grocery store to get some water and trail mix. I have the granola bars that I want to eat at home already, so just had to grab some last minute things to make sure I am well prepared for tomorrow. So I have worked out this morning, you guys. As you can see, I'm following the recommendations of working out the morning before your test day to tire yourself out, so check that off the list. I've run my errands, did my last minute shopping of things that I need. I'll pack like my test day bag later tonight before I go to bed or something. But as you can see, I'm kind of trying to make it a chill day because, as you guys saw in my previous videos, I've been very anxious. I haven't been sleeping well for about the last week to week and a half, and I just do not want to let that affect my headspace and my mentality going into tomorrow. So I'm trying to make today as chill, as positive, as positively reinforcing as possible, to just remind myself that you got this. You know what I mean? Like, you've been putting in so much work, so many weeks of studying, like, you know what you're doing. Have confidence, have faith. So today is more so about putting the finishing touches on weeks and weeks of hard work, and really just going over any last minute things, checking the stuff that I just need to memorize really quickly, figuring out what exactly I'm gonna write down on my scrap paper going into the test. So those kind of finishing touches, but at this point, I'm prepared, and I'm as prepared as I'm gonna get. So nothing I do today is going to make or break anything. It's just trying to grab any little last minute gimme points or refresh things that I haven't seen in a while. So as I mentioned, you guys, today is just going to be a purely kind of high yield day. I've kind of come to terms with, if I don't know something by now, I most likely will not know it by tomorrow. So I just can't stress myself out about things like that, right? So today I'm going to focus predominantly on my practice tests. So I'm going to go back and review every single practice test that I've taken quickly, because I've already done a thorough review after I took it. So I'm just gonna go back, kind of look at the questions, the answers, read the main objective of the problem, and then move on, just so I can get a sense of what are the really important concepts that they're testing if there's anything that I personally struggle with, go back, look it up in first aid really quickly. But today is kind of just a rapid review day. It is not to kind of go back and relearn things. We're past that point. That was the point of kind of the last week of content review, the second pass of content review. As I was explaining in my last video, I did a second pass of first aid where I went back and kind of focused on high yield stuff and every system once again for the second time. So that really solidified some concepts for me. So that learning process is over. Now it's just strictly high yield kind of last minute review. Another thing that I mentioned in the beginning of this video is potentially moving my test date. This is a really important discussion that I think we should have quickly, because I'm gonna try to make this video as brief as possible. I got a long day ahead, but moving a test date and kind of freaking out at the last minute. So this is applicable to any standardized test, but it is totally normal in the last week or 2 weeks to get extremely anxious and nervous as your test is approaching. Super normal, you guys. Like I've explained, I've been not sleeping well, not, feeling okay in the last week or so. Completely normal. You don't want to feel so anxious that you start to kind of consider moving your test date, as long with the assumption that you are doing okay. Now, if your academic performance is not where you need it to be, that is a completely different conversation. That is not what I'm discussing right now. If you need to move your test for performance reasons, that's different. I'm talking about if you are performing fine and your anxiety and your nerves about the actual test is causing you to consider to move it in the future so that you can have more time to study. While I totally understand the sentiment, because I myself am struggling with that. I've struggled with that in the past with the MCAT and stuff, but you have to really come to a point in which you realize that you have done all you can do, right? You have done everything. You are prepared regardless of where you fall on the performance spectrum. You are prepared because you've done everything that you can do, right? And sometimes more time isn't always helpful. You could think that I'm gonna move my test 4 days, 8 days away just to give myself some extra time. And yes, while a day in dedicated is the equivalent of 3 or 4 days of study normally, you can make a lot of progress and cover a lot of ground in one day. While that is true, you have to realize that are those days going to make a difference, right? Because it's a trade-off, it's a cost-benefit analysis, and the more you prolong taking the test, you run the risk of losing material that you've learned. So what I mean is that you can think that you're gaining more time to kind of practice and review and everything. And while that may be true, you're also running the risk of forgetting things that you've learned. So you really have to kind of figure out where you fall on that spectrum and really kind of self-reflect and see if it's more of an anxiety about the test itself that's causing you to think that you need more time, because more time is not going to solve that problem, right? It's not going to make you any less anxious. So what I would say to that is that we are prepared, we are ready. So go in there and kill it, and put all of your hard work and effort into that test, and you will be fine. So I kind of had to get out of my head with that, because I was let me just move it 3 days. I'll move it to Monday and I could cover a lot of ground. I could do a lot of questions in those 3 days. Julia, get in there and take the test. You're more than prepared, and I've been performing fine. So it's more of an anxiety thing, and that is not going to help me feel any less anxious by waiting 3 days. Another way to combat that is by setting hard deadlines. So if you set a test date, set a hard deadline that you're actually going to take it on that day, and not just, oh, I'm going to take it on that day, but rather make a plan after it, schedule a vacation or something so that you have to take that test because you're going abroad, you know, and then on the next day to celebrate. So that's actually what I did. I scheduled a trip to the Dominican Republic. So I will be leaving to the Dominican Republic on Monday after I take my test on Friday. So give myself a few days to just sleep in, relax, catch up on some Netflix, and then head to DR to, you know, enjoy some sun, you know, get out of this classroom and enjoy life for a few days before I come back and jump back into med school life and studying and applying for residency and all of this crazy stuff. So yeah, that's my plan, guys. So I am focusing on my practice test today, going through high yield stuff, maybe passively reviewing some sketchy, but that's about it. It's gonna be a chill day. I'm gonna not stress myself out too much. I'm not gonna feed into this nerves and this anxiousness, and I'm just gonna, you know, continue to tell myself, you got this, you got this, you got this. So I will see you guys soon. Guys, this Good Samaritan brought me food. Thank you. 8:30 tomorrow morning. My sister is legit always looking out, you guys. Like, make sure you have good, supportive friends and family throughout your dedicated study period, and honestly throughout medical school in its entirety, because it is some of the most stressful years of our young adult lives. So just having like a good support system really helps make the journey, you know, that much more tolerable. She hooked me up, you guys. She got Chipotle and she got me a pliable for some good energy. Woo, I needed that. All right, guys, taking one last look at my notes here on the whiteboard, and I'm done. I'm done for the night. Well, I'm done here. I'm gonna go home and do some last minute things, but I'm done in this classroom and I will not be back there for a while. So I'd be lying to you guys if I said I wasn't anxious at all. I definitely am. I think I'm trying to, you know, talk myself off of the ledge every minute, but I feel good. Like I feel confident. I feel confident in the work that I've done over the last few weeks, and that is helping me, you know, reassure myself, because as I mentioned before, you can only do what you can do, right? And I feel confident in saying that I literally have done all I can do, with the exception of taking more time and whatnot, but it's just, I'm ready, you know? So I'm good, guys, and I think it's gonna be a good day tomorrow. Hopefully the questions go in my favor and they just ask every single thing I know, you know, every single thing I remember. Reviewing my practice tests today, like going back through, really helped me like realize how much I know, and more importantly realize that I've learned all the stuff that I didn't know. So going through every single question and making sure I know the things that I've gotten wrong in the past really reassured me, because I know all of those questions now. So if they just ask those same questions or similar questions, then we'll be perfect, you know? So just some housekeeping things for the actual test tomorrow. I have to go home, print out my scheduling permit, which is basically just like a license thing to take the test you have to bring with you. I'm going to pack my drawstring bag. You can't bring in like a bunch of stuff. They give you like, I think, one little small locker. So I'm gonna pack a little drawstring bag with my notes, my granola bars, my water, all of that stuff. Get it all ready so that I can wake up in the morning and just be ready to go. I'm going to try to leave early in the morning. So my test is at 8:30 and I think the place is like 30 minutes away or something, but if I heard that if you get to the testing center early, that you can start your test early. If they let me start the test early, that would actually be better for me, because you know, you never know how many other people are going to be there, going to be testing there. I don't want to be distracted with like a bunch of people. So if I can start a little earlier, more importantly, if I can finish a little earlier because I started earlier, then that I think would just be better for me as far as not being so fatigued at the end of the day, since it is a long day. So if I start early, then I'll finish early. So all of that to say, it's here, guys. The test is here. As you can see, I'm smiling, I'm doing well, I'm staying positive. I think that, you know, headspace and your mentality going into the test is literally like 90% of the battle. So I'm going to have that on my side, because I'm going in there as if I'm answering every single question right. And even if I'm not, I'm telling myself I do, because you gotta keep yourself pushing, you know, keep your confidence through the test. So I'm ready, guys. So I will see you guys post USMLE Step 1, give you all the major details, let you guys know what was good, and then I will be in the Dominican Republic. So see you guys later.